All right, man, let's get into this thing. Cowboys take on the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday Night Football, which I remember as a player. Like, and I know fans, and this is aside from you. As a player, it was cool to have Sunday night games. It was cool to have Monday night games. Sometimes. As an analyst, someone who does the pre and post game show, shout out to my boy Sky over at A to Z Sports. You can find us each and every Sunday covering that at Canvas. Holler at us. I hate night games. I hate them with a passion. And I'm sure it is because of I'm old. It is the old man, get off my lawn. Why the hell do I have to be up at 11 o'clock at night? I hate. If it was up to me, if Jesse Holley had rule over when the Cowboys should play football games, it'd be 17 noon games. I promise you. It would be 17 of them things. I hate night games. I got to wait all day. The work is already done. By the time Sunday comes, my work is done. I've prepared all week. I've talked to y'all here. I've talked to you 5 days a week on Hanging with the Boys. I've talked to you on Believe in the Cowboys. I talked to you on Unfiltered with Jesse Holley. I've talked to you on DLLS Cowboys. Trust and believe you me. All my stones have been turned over. I didn't watch film. I didn't got notes. I didn't trace and track numbers. My show's done. I may do some tweaking here and there, but I gotta wait all day for Sunday Night Football. Isn't that song go? Waiting all day. Is that Monday night or Sunday night? It doesn't matter. You waiting all damn day anyway. Cowboys take on the Pittsburgh Steelers Sunday Night Football. For these two franchises to be as historic as they have been, let me just speak for the Cowboys. Because at least they go to the playoffs every single year. Not that they do anything, but the Steelers and Cowboys doesn't have the same mystique as it once used to. Like, it used to be that Steelers, Cowboys. Remember the helmets clashing together? Like, you would see that. Am I too old? My audience is old enough to remember that. Like, it just doesn't feel the same. And when you go and you watch the film for this game, it definitely doesn't feel the same. Like, I'm sorry to break the news to people. Please watch. This is not going to be an exciting game. It is not going to meet expectations of excitement. It will not be an instant classic. It will challenge. You will have to battle sleep. There will be a greater battle between you and dozing off than there will be Cowboys versus Steelers on the field. You're going to fight sleep harder and more aggressively than this game would be on the football field. That's just from what I'm watching on film. It doesn't have the makings of an instant classic, a 45-43 finish. Nah, it has that 17-14. It has that we straining to get stuff done. There's going to be a lot of penalties. It has some dumb plays. It has that feeling. But I'll get more into that. But, talking about when it rains, it pours. And it has been the injury storm. What's the next hurricane name? We just got finished. Was it H? So A, B, C, D, H, I. I is the next one. Okay, perfect. I didn't even plan that out. What has swept across the Cowboys landscape has been hurricane injury. When it rains, it pours. The Cowboys are already without Sam Williams, who tore his ACL in training camp. And this season has started off very lackluster, very unfulfilling. The Cowboys then put Jordan Phillips on IR with a wrist injury. Feel how you feel about that? Wink, wink. This past week, the Cowboys lost Micah Parsons to an ankle injury, high ankle sprain. And then they lost DeMarcus Lawrence to a Liz Frank or mid-foot sprain. He's been put on IR, so he'll at least miss the next 4 games before he's able to open up that 21-day window. Well, unbeknownst to us, to the fans, to the people, while in New York, Cowboys wide receiver Brandon Cooks goes and see a doctor or specialist outside of, what do they call it now in the network, right? On your insurance network. He went and saw a doctor outside of the Cowboys network, which, by the way, not illegal. Not illegal. When you hear about second opinions and so on and so forth, not illegal. Not illegal to go see somebody about a second opinion. And it's not illegal to go get injections. Okay? The team may frown upon it. They may want you to use their team doctors. But some people have their preference, rightfully so. It is against team policy if you go and get surgery and they aren't aware of it. Injections are fine. That's no different. You're going to get a B12 shot. You know, you can go get a B12 shot, a flu shot, whatever it is. An injection, as long as what it's being injected inside of you is not on the banned substance list and it could come up dirty on the drug test, no problem. Surgery, different story. Well, while in New York, Brandon Cooks goes and gets an injection into his knee, has been having some knee discomfort, some knee pain, and it ended up becoming infected. Ugh. So while Cooks wanted to go outside of the Cowboys network, he now has to come inside the Cowboy network, almost with tail tucked between his legs, and say, something ain't right. Something ain't right. Now, I'm no doctor, but I did stay in the Holiday Inn. What started out as just simple injections to help knee irritation and knee pain has now or will turn into some sort of minor surgery. Because if my understanding is correct from the doctors that I've talked to and seen, in order to go and fix the infection, you got to have surgery. So then now that puts out Brandon Cooks, who to most of your points, and I know some of you are saying, well, I don't give a damn anyway. He hadn't done nothing all year. So good riddance. And I say, cool, that's fine. 91 total yards in 4 games for Brandon Cooks this year. There's no argument from Jay Holley. The one thing that you do miss, though, because now you're talking about now elevating, well, Jalen Tolbert was already in the mix, but now maybe getting more reps for a guy like Jalen Brooks, a guy like Kevontae Turpin. And, of course, a lot of you have called and screamed and shouted about, let's see Ryan Flournoy. No problem with me. Like, at this point in time, find a spark. Find it. Don't care where you find it, but find it. But what you have to remember is the more young guys that you play, and sometimes having that youthful excitement is a good thing. But also sometimes what you also risk is you risk the ability to have someone who has a great knowledge of what's happening on the football field. This offense has already been a strain to kind of get going. It becomes even more of a strain if you have guys out there who doesn't understand hots and sights. What do I mean by that? Well, I have 5 offensive linemen to block 5 defensive linemen, right? 4 down linemen and a linebacker. You'll see Dak come out and he'll go, 52's the mic, 52's the mic. That is a clear indication that Dak is telling the offensive lineman, he who I just ID'd, 52, the mic, you count him in the count of the guy that you block. 4 down linemen plus the linebacker makes 5. I got 5 offensive linemen to block 5 defensive players. Now, what ends up happening is if they bring a 6th defensive player, that guy now belongs to the back. If they bring a 7th defensive player, now is when I start having hots and sights. Now the receivers to that side, whether it's a tight end or whether it's a receiver, we got to make some adjustments. And we have to make those adjustments now. And with Brandon Cooks, what you get from him is a guy who's been in the league for 10 years, a guy who understands what he's looking at as far as coverage, a guy who understands what he's looking at when things go a little bit awry. At least you know he knows that this is hot. You're hot. My route should adjust. My route should break off. My route should be. And those are the things that you kind of miss when you have to take away a veteran out of the lineup and insert a young football player. Will it show up in this game? Don't know. They're not a heavy blitz team, but maybe. What you don't want to happen is, what was the old saying? It's better to have and not need than need and not have. I'd rather have a guy who knows how to make those adjustments than not have a guy, because that's how bad things happen. I look out there and I may even give you a thumbs up to tell you you're good. No hots, no sights. We got it blocked up. I may give you the nod or the hand signal that, hey, we got to. If you don't understand what I'm doing because your mind is going a million miles a minute, because it's real live action out. This ain't that practice stuff that y'all be want to talk to me about. Oh, with Ryan Flournoy and so-and-so, he balled out in practice. All right. Cool. Ain't no consequences over there. See, when that thing happened in the football field and you got 80,000 folks yelling at you, the clock is winding down, Dak is yelling this out and yelling that out, and you got a here we go, guy standing on top of you, he got snot coming out of his nose, it's time to make a play, and you forgot what the hell the snap count was. I ain't telling you something that I heard, I'm telling you something that I know. So in those critical moments, if something was to pop off and now Dak needs to get rid of the ball quickly or hot or sight adjustment and you don't know, and he goes, it's a hot, I'm throwing this slant, he should be there, but you continue up the field on a go route, that's likely to be a pick six. And everybody will say, oh, Dak, there he is. In the moments where we need him the most, he throws an interception, he throws a pick six. Well, this is what you're talking about now flirting with. Now, Ryan Flournoy, Jalen Brooks, these guys may ball out. I'm just cautioning you of some of the things that happen when you insert a bunch of new and young receivers into the lineup. It ain't practice, ladies and gentlemen. Things don't go as planned in these games. And sometimes everything happens in an absolute split second. So not having Brandon Cooks out there while he isn't a spring chicken anymore, the knowledge at times brings a level of comfort. And Dak talked about it today in his presser. He's like, I'm excited for these young guys to go out there and play, but I just have to make sure that I'm not doing too much and overwhelming them because I want to make sure that we're all on the same page. So no Brandon Cooks for this game, and it could potentially get worse because who popped up on the injury report today? Trayvon Diggs. Trayvon Diggs popped up on the injury report with an ankle injury. Don't know how severe it is. He was limited at practice today. And then also Kalen Carson, he's on the injury report with a shoulder injury. He missed last week. Mike McCarthy said in his presser today that he's going to have to do a lot today to make him feel comfortable was playing him this weekend. Saw the Cowboys. You saw what Daniel Jones was able to do against Booth. They benched Booth in the second half. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the guy's Amari's. I'm going to call him A.O. I ain't going to try to pronounce his name. But he came in, served well, had an interception to end that game. So he may be getting the start this week. And while Pittsburgh doesn't have elite receivers, they do have a dog. In every sense of the word. He was a Georgia Bulldog. He's a dog. Like, George Pickens is a dog. Like, and he doesn't like, my boy Jeff Kavanaugh said, he has remnants of a Dez Bryant. And what I mean by that is that when the ball is in the air, Dez had this aggression and this attitude and this spirit about him of that ball belongs to me. No matter where it's put, it belongs to me. And I'll go up, over, I'll go around, I'll go through. And if I get my hands on it, it's you, it's me, the ball belongs to me. And George Pickens has that feel to him. So hopefully you're not down Diggs and Carson. Hopefully that Diggs, because he's probably going to be the one that you want traveling or at least guarding in critical situations, George Pickens in those moments. So not having both of them would definitely put this secondary in a world of trouble. In a world of trouble. But it's going to be interesting. This defense is it will be Jimmy and Joe challenged. When you take away Micah Parsons from a defense, I mean, we're talking arguably one of the best athletes, not only just on this team, the whole league. When you take him away, there isn't anyone on this offense that gives you ball up top, one-on-one, I can go get a basket. You know what I'm saying? Like Micah can give you, like, you don't have to necessarily scheme up Micah to get home. Mike is so naturally gifted, so naturally talented, big, strong, fast, naturally, that just being him and him alone is enough. And just being him and him alone is far greater than anything else that you will be able to put out there. When teams break the huddle, they get to the line of scrimmage and they go, "Where's 11? Let's scan it. Oh, there he is. We're going to slide protection to him. We're going to double team him. We're going to run at him. We're going to have the tight end come back across and block him." When Pittsburgh breaks the huddle on Sunday night, it's ho-hum. We're not looking for anybody. We're not trying to find, the game wrecker. We're not trying to find the guy who's going to be a mismatch problem. You're going to line up against guys. And I say that respectfully. I'm not saying that to disrespect guys like Oso Odighizuwa or Golson or Nealon or any of those guys. But there's a reason he's Micah Parsons, and we speak about him in that tone. And there's a reason why we don't speak about y'all in that tone. And I swear, I know sometimes my mouth gets away from me. I do not mean that disrespectfully. I mean that in the most sincere, straightforward, possible way possible. You're not Micah Parsons. And then you're not even Tank. You are the guys that fall behind him, and your task will be tall this weekend.